Thank you all for being here today at what may become a pivotal moment in human discovery. The object before us, known as the Buga Sphere, was recovered near Buga, Colombia in 2025. It is an extraordinary metallic orb, apparently seamless and inscribed with enigmatic symbols. Since its arrival, it has defied conventional explanation. In our investigations, we engaged top scientists, engineers, linguists, and we approached leading isotope labs for radiocarbon dating, including the University of Georgia's Center for Applied Isotope Studies, which is internationally respected for its radiocarbon dating work. Preliminary results suggest that materials associated with the sphere may date somewhere in the ballpark of 12,500 years old. Today we are joined by luminary scientist Dr. Rodolfo Garrido, by Jaime Musan, and by expert linguist Dr. Agnes Sartori. If even half of the team's findings are real, what we are peering at is a threshold where humanity could rewrite a chapter of our origin story and our place in the cosmos.
Finally, after months of work, Dr. Agnes Sartori has been able to interpret what appears to be a message written on the top of the Buga Sphere, a message that was evidently engraved on the metal by hand. The flaws and corrections are evident, and yet it was determined with the work of Dr. Sartori and Dr. Jaime Vizcaya that it was proto-Sanskrit, perhaps the oldest language spoken in some form on this planet, and which gave rise, perhaps, also to the languages that persist to this day. Reaching that level was difficult, since each of the inscribed letters had to be interpreted, and only then was it possible to determine that it was proto-Sanskrit. From that moment on, the doctor dedicated herself fundamentally to trying to interpret, to give meaning to what is written there. The results are extraordinary and will be announced here in a few minutes. Considering the full meaning of all the glyphs, it's a warning that comes from far away in time and space. This glyph gives me a lot to think about, because I haven't found it anywhere. It's a broken glyph, and it's framed by two lateral signs that are drawing our attention precisely to that point. So I believe there's a message here. They're telling us, we entrust you with life, creation, universal harmony, everything that the sun, the moon, the stars, the cosmos, the primal vibration signifies. And you have the possibility to destroy it or save it. That for me is, perhaps, my interpretation could be the fundamental message of that sphere. Does it impress you? Yes, very much so, because really coming here to the end, after all the information I found, of which I am certain, that is a principle of a proposal, but everything here is a study. I am certain of the meaning I put here. But this impressed me because I couldn't find this anywhere, and it's a broken principle. It's a broken glyph, and that could be the meaning of the message they're sending us. Because ultimately we receive harmony, life, creation, breath, respiration, eternity, because we are eternal. So it could be a permanent cycle in the history of the worlds of the universe, creation and destruction, I think, looking back, it is a cycle. But in some way, I believe that man can design destiny, because by making mistakes alone, one can decide that this planet will be destroyed in 100 years or in 100,000. I mean, I believe that man, who is a co-creator because he is eternal, also has a responsibility for the cosmos, because if something happens to Earth, it will be a problem in the solar system and will have repercussions much further afield. I believe that man has a great responsibility, and what's happening now is a huge problem. It's that people don't study anymore, don't want to study. So I think your observation has a lot of value and a lot of meaning, because this glyph you can't find, which can represent the world, the solar system, the galaxy, the universe, it clearly warns, if you break the harmony, you break the cycles, then the end comes for the second time, and it threatens life, breath, the breath of creation. I understand it that way, because the universe is breath. It makes a lot of sense as a warning. Yes, I interpret it that way. Yes. Well, thank you. The sphere is 12,560 years old, which is a very close time to what has been considered it was the fall of a great comet on Earth. Is there a relationship with this message? I believe that there are symbols here which can speak of the system of the Earth or the cosmos, which has been modified through, for example, a flood, because Indra speaks. That symbol also speaks of a flood. Perhaps it's included in the past of the delivery and the successive cycles that have passed on Earth. I think so. In fact, many authors who have studied Sanskrit, pre-Sanskrit, speak of pre-flood dates. But the flood is spoken of. There are many texts that speak of the flood.
Wow. If this translation is indeed accurate, it speaks of cosmic beginnings, of cycles of creation and destruction, and of a solar event that divides worlds. Whether this is poetry, prophecy, or a record of something that truly happened long ago, we don't know yet. Further metallurgical analysis is now underway. Teams from several laboratories are studying the sphere's precise alloy composition to determine whether these metals are of earthly origin or something else entirely. Whatever its origin, perhaps we're being reminded that someone or something is watching over us. Thank you.